to co-chair the Bike Ed Committee.
Bruce Parker, Katie Bike Ed, and
Karen, did you get that? We have 2 visitors.
I'm just seeing that right now.
And Mindy Munson and Bruce Parker, both from Katie Bike and Fed and Clackamas.
Okay, I heard the Bruce Parker. I didn't hear the first one.
Mindy Monacuto.
Okay.
All right. No.
Okay.
All right. Everybody should have received a copy of the 21st minutes. Can I get a motion to approve? Approve minutes. Jim Simon, second the approval of those minutes. Okay, we'll start in with our agenda, the monthly parks update, and Jerry, you can walk us through. When we get down to the parks maintenance fee, I'm going to move that down to the bottom of the business because that might take a little more time, depending on discussion. All right, go ahead, Jerry.
Auburn Farms going well, as we see with construction continues. One of the things, there was kind of a little technical area in the plan for the gazebo. So I'm working with the builder to get shorter and get bigger gazebos. So they'll hold 50 tables, which I thought.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I am having a lot of trouble hearing. It's like kind of cutting in and out.
Is that a microphone right there?
Yeah, let me move it up.
Are you saying there's not much there's not a good service in Rockaway?
No, my service is just fine, thank you.
Can you hear me, Kara?
Yeah, it's hopefully that'll be better.
You shut the HVAC off. That would help a lot.
Well, what Jerry was saying, I mean, we were talking about the Auburn Farms park, and that the construction is going well. There was a question on the size of the gazebos, one that was checked out and planned for, and then there was a question on the size of the gazebo, and we might go to the larger size gazebo because it'll hold more tables and obviously fit more people.
Okay.
So as of right now, are we working towards one of those sizes? I mean, I heard large.
Yeah, large. It's it'll hold 4 8-foot tables. They're getting the paperwork together for us tomorrow, so we'll be working with Randy on that.
How much more is it?
It'll be 21,000.
I'm sorry, I'm still not hearing very well.
Hold on, Kara. We're gonna make sure one way.
Can you turn it? I have headphones on, and I'm going to try it without the headphones to see if that helps.
Jennifer Speak 810.
Is that it?
Yeah.
We get a new. We can do these at City Hall too. Technology. Yeah.
I haven't had a problem before, so I'm not sure what's going on, but it doesn't seem to be on my end, just the transmission. So
yes.
Yeah. Let's carry on. The larger size of gazebo will hold 4 what size tables?
8-foot picnic tables.
Okay.
$20,000 each more over
On top of the,
on top of.
yeah. We're $1 million under budget on the entire project. So it would be a added cost of 63,000. So.
$1 million under?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good prices. There was, the economy changed. We got a lot more people bidding on projects. So, yeah, we got lucky. It could have been a couple years before that, it'd been $2 million over.
Okay, so we're moving forward.
Moving forward with Auburn Farms, everything's good out there. The other thing is the path, off the Logan Road path, they're paving. We're gonna haul dirt in for landscaping and they're gonna try to pave it Monday. So,
In the park,
in
Auburn Farms Park.
no, this is the path off the Logging Road Bridge.
Oh,
I'm just, yeah. Or did you not want an update?
yeah, that's the logging road.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Sorry, I thought it was Public Works update. I apologize. Never mind. I'll move on. I'll write that down, Kara.
So what's okay? So you kind of jumped to the logging path update.
I lost my agenda. I'm sorry.
It's okay, but I just threw that in there. So should I wait until do that later or something?
Wait. We'll come back maybe.
Okay. So we're done with Auburn Farms.
Yes,
Okay.
we're going to name the park now, and I know that you put this out at one time on the Friends of Canby Park,
Yes.
right? I think it's on the city website. Kara, did you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have had anything to do with that, but I did put it out on Friends of Canby Parks.
Yeah, and we moved to the city website. That was going to be Jamie or Jerry. They were gonna make sure that it was on the city website, not you.
Yes.
And then Tara Abbott was going to take it to the HOA for Auburn Farms. And I was just asking her what she heard at her HOA.
Nothing.
Okay.
We had the largest attendance we've ever had and no one was interested. I brought the application. No one asked me for a copy.
Okay. So we've asked that if people have any ideas to turn them in by January 15th. And we will go over what we have at our meeting in January. So.
That one.
One.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there are actually 3 things that.
Oh, okay.
One of them is just Auburn Farms to keep it the same, so, yeah. We talked about the installation of the parking kiosk at Community Park, and there wasn't a lot of interest. We didn't feel that we wanted to bring the gentleman down from Seattle to make his presentation to the group. I think the way it stands, I think there, in our last meeting, there wasn't a lot of interest to go through that, and so unless there's discussion today, I'm saying that we should wrap that idea for the present time. Anybody opposed to that? Opposed to it?
Okay, I'm still having a little trouble hearing, but what I got was that the question of the parking kiosks for Community Park has been tabled for now.
Yes. That's a good summary.
Okay.
All right, pool upgrades. do we have, I think there's a meeting scheduled for November 21st at 11:30. And I believe Mr. Viscar has been invited to that.
I have not.
Are you available?
I think so, yes.
Let's see. Where am I finding it? Yeah, 1:30. The architects are meeting, going over the scope of the job, design, with Eric. So I'll be there, and then I'll forward this invite your way, if you'd like to sit in with me. Okay. It's at City Hall.
Okay. That takes care of pool discussion. Yeah. I'm gonna skip the parks maintenance fee for now, Kara.
Okay.
We're going to go to, bikes on the logging road. We have, Jerry, at one time, the last meeting, I think you said they had a lot of paint left over and they were discussing striping the logging trail. And we also had some discussion about maybe widening that bike path, maybe a foot or 18 inches on each side. So maybe Jerry can speak to that a little bit.
You know, we're kind of researching the striping still. We're kind of in the holding pattern on that. And it's not good weather to strike, so we have some time. We missed our window. And then if we want to widen it or do something like that, that would be something we need to discuss and budget for.
Okay. In this group?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's finding the money, budgeting for it, what we want to do exactly. And then I would recommend holding off on striping if we're going to do any kind of maybe more. I mean, I know we've talked about this a little bit. It's kind of new, right? Widening it.
Yeah, widening.
The whole 2.5.
I've just heard about this recently, so it's nothing coming from me. I don't know, where did this start? From Bike and Ped or?
Well, it wasn't from Bike and Ped, it was a discussion within the group, I think, with the members of the group. I mean, in order to widen that, is there a way that we could get a cost on that?
Yeah, or maybe 3 costs, or widening it to where, because it looks like there's a shoulder, right, on the, yeah, you got the main strip and then there's shoulders. I'm not, maybe not the whole thing, but part of it, right? Getting a cost on that, doing the whole thing. Yeah, just the repaving of the center strip like it is. Figuring out like what those.
I know we need to repair a bunch of it because the roots are starting to push up, so.
And that probably, does that get done before the striping?
I would recommend it,
Right.
yeah.
Because it's probably gonna be done spring anyway,
Mhm.
where we get the cost in and then make a decision.
You guys tell me what you're looking for. I could sure get prices.
Well, I was gonna go to their meeting, I haven't been to the Bike and Ped meeting yet, and hear them out and see what they're thinking, because I don't know, I haven't heard anything about.
This first I heard it. I know, me too, it's just recently came out.
Right. Mindy and Bruce, I mean, you feel that, I don't want to get into long-term discussion,
Yeah.
but would you recommend widening that trail?
Especially in the high traffic areas, for sure. But also, we know that we're going to have to repave, in the near future. So this is a conversation to have, figuring that and some of our complaints with the users. A little wider might relieve a lot of issues, and then some strategic striping. Go ahead.
Right.
we're talking new maybe extending to where the old road is like a shoulder, it's the original road. And so, what I would think the discussion should go is maybe on a kind of a capital improvement plan, because I don't think we're gonna probably do it all at once, it'd be nice, but and look at it that way, and I know that times, Jerry, you talked about, going, checking on roads and seeing what type of condition they're in.
Yeah.
And maybe we should do that at the logging road and develop that capital improvement plan, with repaving, widening it. And I think we probably could do the striping before that's all repaved, but,
Well, I wouldn't want to strike because the width will change, so
right.
we should, if we're gonna pave and then strike. Yeah, maybe.
One other thing, for funding wise, knowing that it is, the way across and over 9090 as far as emergency access, funding wise, I don't know that Parks is the only hole for funding. I don't know where it falls. There's people who know better, but that might be something that maybe or is interested in too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to discuss it more because, this was this is something that's new. We hadn't been talking about it. We did talk about striking, but the widening of the trail, we could talk further about that. Yes? Okay. The question on Ivy Ridge Park, Ivy Ridge neighborhood. There. You wanna turn out? We can do, we're not gonna develop that part, but.
Well, we've been invited to a meeting. Randy Berry and I have been invited to a meeting with that neighbor, December 12th or something coming up. Yeah, it's coming up soon. So we're gonna just hear input from them. The public works crew said that they're glad to, as soon as they get done with light up tonight, finish 10th Avenue. Some of their projects, they're just gonna wanna go out before the sidewalks. Get the sidewalks installed this winter sometime, some fill-in work. So I think we'll have more to come on Ivy Ridge.
When we're talking about the sidewalk, putting the sidewalks on the people that attended our meeting the last time, they were excited about that. They were happy that they were going to put the sidewalk.
It's gut grass in now. They don't mind it. It's just, they kind of like it the way it is. A lot of people do. But it's gut grass area. They all have kids to go out to it.
We would do the same thing with Ivy Ridge when it comes time. It's not at the list. It's a little for but when it comes time to discuss Ivy Ridge, we would do the same thing for them that we did for Auburn Farms and Dodds. We had a meeting with the neighbors. They made suggestions on a map of what they wanted to see. I brought a list of those suggestions, and then we go around and then the firm. And then we discussed it with people at Auburn Farms and Dodds, and we came to an understanding, and that's what they were going. So that's what we'll do with it.
Ivy Ridge. Oh. We have to look on that.
Because we can't do anything without it being,
The 5-year business plan, the same as the comp plan. It's not a 5-year business plan, it's on our 20-year project list. So I don't know where the comp plan goes, but only keep track of so many plans.
Is there water out there?
There must be.
Everything's stubbed into it, both the parks, we got utility stubbed in.
5 o'clock here.
First meeting, anyway.
It's Public Works. Sorry.
5 to 6:30.
Sorry,
Council.
May, go ahead. Maple Street renovations. And now would be the time to talk about the restroom problem. Go ahead.
Okay, so Barry and I went and looked at restrooms just to get an idea of what would work there. Something that's got a lot more stalls and stuff like that for these big events that they're having there, alcohol and stuff. And Barry in that Roseburg. They did this and we got price. We just literally got prices on this restroom today. And installed turnkey, just under 600,000.
The little single bathrooms are all like that.
Yeah, so it's expensive. And this one here's a little more because it's got storage in one end. So it could be some stuff moved.
Well, we wanted to add the storage. Ryan, who's not here, Ryan wanted to add storage because the storage in the smaller building is pretty much full with softball equipment. They're talking about moving baseball tournaments over there this 20, so they'll need storage for their baseball, pitchers' mounds and things like that, so they need additional storage. So that's why we were adding the storage onto this.
Where would it go?
Like where the one basketball hoop is next to the other bathroom. We take away part of that. Yeah.
And how many stalls would this have?
Can you share a screen, Maria? It's got
5 stalls
in each.
in each one.
Okay.
We could email it to you too, Kara.
One handicap in each one, and then 4 stalls.
What's the ideal timeline?
Do it. Well, we first want to see if this group's interested in spending that type of money on it. Unless we're working on estimates and how we. But their process is pretty fast if we got approval and stuff. So.
They're gonna have to go, like, people can approve it and then have to go.
The
Council, like, the whole readings and.
But-
they have to go through.
We have money budgeted in this for the parking lot, playground and bathroom, but it's all SBC funds, so yeah. We have like general funds to contribute, so.
Well, it's definitely gonna increase.
Site or it's not prefab kind
Yeah. Tell the kid, yeah.
How long does it take to construct it? How long does it take to build it?
The building says go fast, but I haven't got to ask him how long it takes him to get the building built.
Oh, that's what I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know
Once it's
yet.
outside.
Did you guys remember what he said? I don't think we asked that yet. This is all coming
You
pretty
wanted to
recent.
go, what price for us together?
I wanted to see if the price shocked all of you or not.
Here's the price of the building itself. Kit was $265,000. The labor to install, if they install it, was 1.25 times more. That puts us at the $600,000 range. Well, if we could get somebody else to install it, I don't know.
We could do an RFP and spec it, try to get a better price.
And we're keeping the old things.
We'll keep the old ones, yeah.
You're retired, Barry, go ahead.
I can't, some Gorilla Glue.
There would be two buildings next to each other, both bathrooms.
Can you go on?
There would be,
You can go on Google.
there would be the one building that has the concession stand, the storage for softball, and then the two restrooms. That building would remain the same, and then on the one basketball court, there would be this other building.
So just getting rid of the basketball court. Putting that.
Probably, one of the basketball courts. There's two basketball courts there now. Both basketball courts, they're both garbage.
Yeah.
So you see that one right below all the plumbing and everything stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like they could insert this.
And I would, we did our parks maintenance, we think sorted out, we could use parks maintenance money at some point and resurface the basketball court.
Does the price include like all hook up the plumbing and all the utilities and?
These are just rough numbers. We just got it back. I wanted to make sure you guys were interested before I get real hard numbers. For it. Permits.
Are there many other companies that do stuff like this, or just one kind of company that'll do
This is the one that that's on government pricing, all that, and we really, Barry and I really like the.
The building, is it a gazebo or the building that's at the transit center?
They built that.
By Cuspers, was built by this company. I mean, all I did was Google port, or, restroom construction, tilt ups, like we have at Timber Park and whatever. And this company came out, I mean, there may be other ones, but they seem to have the government pricing and all that.
It gives, if we decide to go this way, it gives me the specs though, if we wanted to put it out to. Yeah, they could.
How many stalls do we currently have in the bathrooms?
One in each.
Single.
Two singles.
Okay.
So this would increase capacity a lot. And during the softball tournaments, unless they bring in porta johns, I mean, there are people lined up to get into the restrooms, so. It would certainly help.
Yeah, so a couple things we're talking about as staff. Trying to unlock this is the amount that's eligible for SDC funding, which we have, about $4 million sitting on the sidelines waiting to be used for your all projects. Which is interesting in and of itself. But right now, this particular project would only be 54% of it, whatever the cost is, for eligible for SDC use. The rest has to come through council for probably. So I'm trying to get it to 100. That requires some fine tuning with our consultants on how we list this project and how it's all calculated and behind the Wizard of Oz. All the math that goes into creating an SDC. The second thing, as Ryan might point out, is that because you're bringing in porta potties, you have additional crowds. This additional restroom would meet that need. That's not increasing capacity. So it's an interesting test to increasing capacity. You're meeting the needs of the increased crowds with this restaurant or this restroom. So it's tomato, and so we're trying to work through that.
What did, Randy, I'm sorry, what did you say the percentage that would be paid for SDCs is?
54 point something percent. Did you get that right?
I thought it was 57, but somewhere in that range.
57.4. There's a 4 in there somewhere.
So just for the restroom, or would that be for the parking lot?
We just tested the restroom, but I'm interested in resurfacing anything. I asked about parking. I'm pushing on all of it. signage, everything in that park. To spruce it up a little bit, as you have mentioned.
Little brown there.
Yeah, in that picture, little brown. So we're trying to, as you know, there's hurdles, and we're trying to knock those down and work through those with council. So hopefully that helped educate some of the headwind that I encountered as of 4 o'clock today, with a barrage of email back and forth, but just trying to push on some of these fronts to get these things greenlit. I think it's a great project. I'm all for it, so let's try to make it happen. I love seeing all those events up there, all those tournaments. It's a shame to have to use porta potties, so let's figure it out.
About how many tournaments do we have a year?
Well, shoot, the person that would know just hung up, it looks
Yeah, it's
like.
like Jess has been on here the whole time. We should ask her what she thinks.
Pardon?
Is she familiar with what?
Yeah, she's
I'm not familiar
Rebels.
with it.
She's big with Rebels.
Oh, okay. I know Ryan Oliver is talking, they were discussing with softball, right now there's a little conflict, but Ryan, they were asking, according to Ryan, they were asking for 3 days for some major tournaments for baseball. 2 of them Rebels had free, and so they had those 2 penciled in. The third one, there was some difficulty, and so I got a text from Ryan earlier this week, and there evidently is some conflict between softball and baseball. We're not the sheriff.
Yeah, we shouldn't be involved.
We're not the sheriff of that Maple Street ball fields. Those guys are gonna have to work it out. But I know softball they had close to a dozen tournaments there this past year or this year. So it's only gonna increase. And other people, I guess, are they want to rent it, use it for.
Well, it's because baseball's having a hard time with the school district, so they're trying to just figure it out on their own.
Okay, any other information, other questions there? I guess we can go on to, I'll touch on this other thing before we come back to the Parks and Vacancy. Tara, you asked for a crosswalk signal at Territorial and Locust.
Thank you.
And Jerry had it done on Monday following that meeting, so.
Yes, we didn't even notice at first, but everyone is loving it, and people are stopping like right away. It's great.
I've seen it on my way to work, people using it at 7:45 in the morning.
Yeah, I feel comfortable with my kids like going out there. Yeah,
Just
great.
we could
Thank
get
you.
one thing done,
There
right?
we go.
Yeah,
We
no,
got it.
and everyone that in our neighborhood is very excited.
Oh, good.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sure Biden Ped was happy about it too.
I just heard something. Maybe not.
Has there ever been talk about putting one on Fifth and Holly on the way to
The,
kids walking to school at Night Elementary?
the next request through Traffic is on South Fur out of Hope Village across 13. And we have that one that went on Territorial, and the one that's gonna go there came off of Ivy. We had those on Ivy as temp, so we were able to recycle those.
I have an answer from Jessica, who's locked back in. There's 11 softball tournaments scheduled in 2026, and baseball has 3. So. That's it. Okay,
Jerry, the next crosswalk signal is for Fur and Holly. Is that what you said?
13th
Oh, for 13th and Fur.
and 13th and Fur over by Hope Village, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'm sorry, what's the progress on that one?
It's just one more meeting with the Traffic Safety Commission.
to just verify that, that's where they want it. They've been working on that for quite a while, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We'll swing back up to the parks maintenance fee and ordinance. So. What does anybody want to say? We need to rewrite it evidently. I mean, I know that Jerry and Jamie sent an email. We had a meeting and to talk about what we, I guess, expected to see on the parks maintenance fee. And we discussed some topics, and Jerry and Jamie put together an email or a text and sent it to Randy, and we're still, I guess we need to know what we need to do. I mean, I guess your direction to him was rewrite the ordinance.
Yeah, I think that you probably at this point want to identify what issue you're trying to resolve as a committee. I think your city staff has articulated over the years, for whatever reason, I'm not involved, I've been here 4 months, but now I'm involved. They feel like the parks maintenance fee has been accounted for, and it's been attributed to your parks fund. But if you, okay, so that said, full stop, every cent, every dollar is gone towards operation and maintenance. Operation includes labor. So the finance team feels pretty confident that, very confident that every dollar for dollar is accounted for. However, if you have a difference of opinion as a committee that these monies should not be going towards labor, then you can expressly make your case by amending this ordinance and writing that in there, and then talking with your council liaison, bringing that forward to the council to try and further specify and narrow the use of the parks maintenance fee dollars. Does that make sense? Like, that helps us understand where you're coming from. And I've been passing these out, these budget updates when I come to your meetings, which shows how the parks maintenance fee comes into the parks fund, which is in the general fund. We have 11 different funds inside the general fund: cemetery, library, it's all the same financial accruals. Right now, we've accumulated almost $200,000 in parks maintenance fees through the first 4 months of the year. And then on the back page, you can see the year-to-date actual, 245,000 in guys that are the staff that works down here in parks maintenance, and then actual maintenance activities and materials and services, about $94,000. So that's how the money gets tracked with revenues and expenses. If you want to get more explicit in the code that Jerry has attached to your agenda, then that's something you can write in there and take it to your council liaison to council and say, okay, we want this parks maintenance fee to just be towards materials and services, let's say, which is on page 2, which is all this stuff like parks ground maintenance, parks building maintenance, street landscaping, vandalism repair, all these things that maintain the, that would be, you can tie every penny to that. You can try to run that through council so that you can see how your 194, for example, in this case, does against $94,000 in expenses. You would be $100,000 to cover at this point in time in the fiscal year. But it doesn't cover labor, so the general fund would have to cover the labor costs. Anyway, that's how I'd frame that up right now. It's like, have a good discussion. I know you guys have been talking about this for probably a year plus, but I would say, yeah. Well, hopefully, this is an answer that's different, that you've been hearing, and we can make some progress.
Well,
Or maybe it's the same.
the answers are the same. The parks maintenance fee was never intended to be labor intensive. I mean, 100%. Our parks maintenance fee is paying for the labor, almost 100%. And that's not what it was intended for. Back in 2018, when we first started discussing this,
Yeah.
it was maybe one more employee or to add 2 more employees to the list. And then that was as long as there was deferred maintenance. But certainly after 7 years, that deferred maintenance should be done and caught up and over. And it is it's not what it was intended for. It was intended for repairs and modifications and keeping up, like I was mentioned earlier, the basketball courts at Maple Street.
Yeah.
We could pave those, we could resurface those. The parking lot at Locust Street Park, we could repave that parking lot over at Locust Street Park. That's what that money was intended to be used for. But as a group, we could see how much money that we had left in our parks maintenance fee, and we could make a determination what repairs or modification or improvements that there were to be made at these other locations. And now, I mean, it's just like every penny that we take in has gone to materials and services, and it's gone to labor.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the budget report that I received, we brought in, as parks maintenance fee, we brought in like $531,000 in 24-25.
Yeah.
In personal services, which is salaries and everything else, we spent $798,000 on that. And then total, our materials and service, personnel was $798,000. Materials and services was $586,000. So
Here's last year's report, full report.
of what we brought in, we spent for labor and materials and services like $1,384,000 versus the $531,000 that we brought in.
Yeah.
Which left us short like $853,000, which I guess that was the general fund contribution had to come from that to pay the rest. Well, in this year, 25-26, now our parks maintenance fee is at $570,000.
Yeah.
Our labor is less, we're at $693 because they were supposed to get an additional head, and that additional head went elsewhere. And materials and services are sitting at $319,000. So our total expenditures for labor and materials and services is at $1,015,000, bringing in 571, leaves us a difference of 441,884. So our general fund contribution is less than what it was the previous year. And I guess on the ordinance, on 3.35050, it says the general fund of the city of Canby shall contribute funds toward the operation of city parks in the amount equal to the actual operating expenditures of the city park budget for the fiscal year.
2017. That's.
Well, yeah, it
over.
stays the same, it should be the same. It should carry over, and then the city contribution shall be adjusted annually in an amount equal to the percentage change in the consumer price index for the Portland metropolitan statistical area.
And we do that.
Is that being done?
Yes. Yes. It's tied to the CPI.
So that is being done.
Yes.
Why are we short?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think everybody has to step back and look at the history of this. It was brought on 2016-17 by the city administrator to the city council because there was a significant shortfall in public works in regards to being able to pay for parks, park maintenance. And it was like, because, they just didn't have enough money to do that. This is a fee that's for 5 years that the city council approves for this purpose. The last time they were looking at making it permanent, but they decided to make it only 5 years because of the fact that they wanted to actually see how it was working, whether or not the money was needed. And so the last city council basically had approved for a renewal, which is 27, for 31st, 2027. So yes, that's when the city council has to deal with it. Before that, obviously, the ordinance as written needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work. Being in midstream, you're bringing up, do we even need park maintenance moving forward with this? The big picture is, what is it, where are we headed with park maintenance? Because right now, we don't have enough people in the city to do park maintenance and to do park. In the original staff report written by the city administrator, he had also mentioned the fact that the thought back then was that we'd be looking at a parks district. And a parks district would then be able to adequately fund the staffing that we need for a park and rec. So regardless, the park maintenance fee is not solving problems in regards to the staffing that's needed for park and rec moving forward. So I think that since we have enough time in between now and 2027, when we have the city council to deal with it, because it requires a public hearing of the citizens of Canby to be able to come down for it as well. Granted, the weight of this committee is that's gonna bear a lot of weight in regards to the city council and how we move forward. But I think we're getting a new finance director here very soon. We have an interim city administrator, in my mind, is done a terrific job. And we have a great, park and rec chairperson. I think that we need to get the city administrator, the finance director, park and rec chair, Jerry, to sit down and do a deep dive on this ordinance because it's right around the corner. It's not that far away before, but that ordinance has to be cleaned because we're living in history dating back to 2016 and 17 with Rick Robinson. And so the staff report from Rick Robinson is in there as well.
You're basing it on somebody's interpretation, our council's interpretation or the financial department's interpretation of where that money. It was never meant to be 100% going to the labor and that parks maintenance.
That's why
That's where it's going.
this needs a deep dive.
And are you saying that we don't have enough maintenance people now, parks maintenance people, that you need more?
Because they're running the parks program. Because we won't have a parks district. So how do we run a parks program? Because right now we're not running a parks program. But
What do we run?
with that,
We have no recreation.
Well, that's true. We have no recreation. It's
right,
parks only.
right.
So it's maintaining the parks. There is no recreation. Right. We haven't lived up to that forever.
So anyway, that's a representative. That's what my recommendation for you guys to the council is that we need to do a deep dive into this ordinance. And I think the right people in place to do that.
You see deep dive and like rewriting the ordinance to clear it up.
Whether or not it's to include, because I read it differently from Barry. you know, based on the staff. You know, so it's a matter of interpretation, but that has to be cleaned up.
So there's a clean concrete
Yeah.
going forward, so there's, we don't have this discussion in 30, 34.
In 5 years,
34.
in 5 years,
Yeah,
yes.
right, that's the goal. I understand.
And I think that's what I said a few months ago. Bring me an order.
Well, if we do bring an ordinance and an adjustment to the ordinance, is that gonna be brought to council?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before the 5 years, before
I
2027.
won't be here.
Before
Oh, don't say that,
2027.
Randy.
Let's get to work. One of our helpers is healing right now, so we're down a person. So Jerry's got a lot on his plate.
Finance structure is gonna be a big trade.
So yeah. Can I ask one more question? How are these ordinances written? Does a lawyer have to write them, or does Jerry write it? You write it?
We there's a team in writing and then an attorney reviews it.
Reviews it and then cleans it up and then comes back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So any input, Jim? Now, you know, that's why we gave you a copy of this, if you guys want to flip. I just did some clerical stuff that I saw, and little stuff, nothing.
I mean, is it as simple as saying we can only use 50% of the park maintenance fee towards personnel?
It's like street maintenance fee, it's so specific, between the curbs.
That's right.
It's, you can't break that, so if I start spinning on concrete, I'm in violation of the ordinance. So, you know, so if we want specifics, it's stuff like that that helps us a lot, so it clears it up. So like Barry's, is it no labor? We gotta figure out the other way, that would be listed in the
I'm
ordinance.
not,
But I'm just saying as an example.
back in 2018, when it first came out, labor.
Yeah.
Part of, we agreed with percent of labor, but if you're gonna include labor, code it that way. Okay, if you're gonna put 3 people labor, if you're gonna pay for 3, code it that way. Because based on the discussion that we had, we went through and identified, you guys identified, you and Jamie identified like 7 topics that should come out of the parks maintenance fee. Labor was not one of them. It could have been 50%, 25% labor, 75%. We could have done that, but I went through and took off of that quarterly chart. I took those item numbers and I plugged them in here. So the parks maintenance fee in those 4 months brought in 193,902. Okay, and the other items, contract services, parks ground maintenance, no labor. Okay, I took all those year-to-date actual figures and plugged them in. And for that 4-month period, that equaled 27,967, which meant there was a remaining balance to the parks maintenance of $165,000. That's what I've been asking for 5 years. If you want to put labor in there, then put that itemized, put that number in there and figure out a percentage. We're gonna pay for what it was we're gonna have to have the, and give me an itemized number, an account number, which we got off of that list.
Yeah, can I add to that?
Absolutely.
So Jamie and I worked on this, and like, if you look at the printout that Randy gave us, page 10, and it's got the 100 numbers.
Mhm.
So basically, we would set up whatever was eligible under parks maintenance fee under that with the 100 numbers. And it would be laid out what is eligible, and then my parks team, counting labor, could put the hours and receipts. So like Barry Johnson did a records request of what was spent on parks maintenance fee, it would be easy to track. So that's what we're kind of working on, and we need the new finance director to help. And it might not be the way everyone wants it going at that time, but we'd be able to at least track the labor, all that stuff.
Here's my question. Are there people in the finance department right now. Why do we need a finance director to identify the accounting versus pull that off? Why does a financial director to make that happen?
You want me to answer that? For me as the public works director?
I'll ask Jim. I'll ask.
Well, no, I won't answer for myself, just because we got a new director coming on, like to have input and be able to, that'd be my only thing.
Doesn't anybody in the finance department, aren't they able to do that and hold that stuff?
I would imagine, yeah.
That's all right.
This, the one I handed out here that has a little box on it, it's a pretty good roll up. This is your last fiscal year of your parks fund. Okay, so operations is code for labor, and maintenance is materials and services. So you add those two up, and the expenses were $860,000. The parks maintenance fee revenue was $563,000. Again, this is the last 12 months, last fiscal year. So you can see the general fund helps subsidize the parks fund for $300K. That's kind of in a nutshell. Now, what you all are zeroing in, I think, is this operations bucket and maybe taking a shot at peeling some of that off of the backs of the parks fund and maybe doing like 50% labor or something. I'm just picking a number. And codifying that through a rewrite of this ordinance. So that helps take a little pressure off, free up some of your parks maintenance fee money to go towards actual parks maintenance. I think that's the spirit of the ask. And it won't take me 5 years to do it. 30 times 4, 120 days in, so. All right.
Watch what you say.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
So it's gonna take a rewrite of that ordinance to go to council, and council to, I mean, if we want to get it changed, we don't want to go through another year. If you want to get it changed now, not wait till 2027, you'd have to rewrite the ordinance and have it go to council and have council run through that. But then we'll have council say, no, it's gonna be up to 2027, let's just wait till
I don't know. I haven't talked to them about this. I don't know what they said.
we certainly have a discussion yet. All right, great. Any more discussion on
It's,
that?
you did learn something tonight, though. It is tied to the CPI, so it is going up. Cost of inflation. Yeah.
Mine was $6 and something.
Yes, that happens annually. It's your master fee schedule. The council approves. $6,
A little over, yeah.
$6.30. And it started at 5. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the park maintenance, 645.
Is it?
So in 2027, that'll be the second time it's been 5 years through, so. And so what is it, 8 years now?
I started collecting in 2018.
I think what would be interesting for you to look at, this is just me from the cheap seats. The swim levy is up next year, 47 cents per thousand. Would it be of interest to, would it be the appetite of your taxpayers to tack on 15 cents, 20 cents to that levy for parks related activities, parks and recreation activities? I don't know how Canby residents feel about that, but while you have the levy up, I know we have an expert here, but it's an opportunity to strike if the appetite is there. I have not surveyed, haven't done any surveying yet. We might invest a little bit to find out what Canby's appetite is for Parks and Rec since I've been here, but it is an opportunity that's coming up.
David, don't you have an opinion on
I would venture to guess that you would.
The one time, so this one coming up, I think it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
So this will be the 6th levy.
Okay.
The one time it didn't pass is when they tried to tie it into a parks thing where they were
Really?
trying to build something in the
Of course.
If you remember when they were gonna get something down there, and it failed, it was November. We went out again in February
Okay.
and it passed. But it usually passes 60-65%.
So did you take the parks thing off of it?
Yeah, on this, took the parks
That,
out.
that's all. Right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But they were just trying, I think it was even more, they were trying to do the Parks and Rec, the whole, making it a whole district.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
But for 50, I don't know. I mean, would that be, you wonder how much you need to make up that 500,000-600,000?
Or do you use that to hire a person? Because as a taxpayer, you want to see where that money goes specifically, yeah, right? And this was sold to us originally as, we can't build new parks because we can't take care of our parks, so we need park maintenance fee. So we'll have this for maintenance.
Deep thoughts that we should kick around. That's true. The swim center, love to talk about that too. I don't want to go beyond that, but there's just different things, a new pool, how much does that cost? How much is the school district invested in something like that? Or expanding on site, if the school district's interested in another tank of another 6 lanes, at a quarter of the cost. Fun stuff like that to get into, to ideate around. It's exciting.
I don't see the citizens or the council really any push trying to get something done. And you see how long build a park in this city. I can't build a whole new swim center.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against it at all, but that'd be great. Then where do you build it? The council doesn't like building it on city land, and that's where the pool is now. So buying land and is there any land to be built?
Well, it's getting an agreement with the school district to partner with the city to give up some of the land they're sitting on. It's like, what are they gonna do with all that?
So,
A piece between township and Trost.
Great stuff. Well, thanks for it.
yeah, I think that's the one did we drive by that one?
Sure did.
It's a beautiful land.
We were just, took my granddaughters to Clackamas Aquatic Center yesterday. Wow.
Have you been to the Newburgh one?
I haven't been there yet. I heard about that.
Really nice. I mean, when I talk to fellow parents about them doing updates, the pool, everyone is, like, we want, so I don't know how you would gauge interest in that. We have a ton of kids that are doing lessons and swim team and all the things, and driving by this past weekend when they were hosting.
And the 40
Yeah, and the people with their propane tank,
Yeah.
it's, I was about to say embarrassing, but I mean, I feel like there would be a lot of interest in helping support from, I mean, maybe it's brought up at some sort of, at each of the schools, with people that have children that want to help support this, and we see, I know Malala isn't a great example, but they did it. Don't know how it's going now, but, just really wanting a space where we can the kids wanna go swim, but the parents don't wanna, yeah,
Oh,
it's not a great spot.
It's not, it's
Yeah.
just a square body of water.
Yeah,
That's all
yeah.
we've got.
You would think the schools would partner up
Oh,
because
no,
the
the
swim
schools
team
don't
and
seem-
all that.
You would think,
You would think schools.
they don't
are
seem to
running
wanna
the other
do
way.
anything with anybody.
No.
Barry, do we have an action item on the parks maintenance fee?
No, I mean, we're gonna discuss I guess as a group, we need to discuss. Jerry handed out a copy of the ordinance.
We'll email that to Kara.
And we'll email it to you, and I mean,
Okay,
it's maybe, as individuals go through there and take a look at it, see what verbiage you would change, if any, and try to come back. I mean, my big thing, it's always been, and everybody knows it, they think I complain a lot, but that's tough, is getting the labor taken out of the parks maintenance fee, so we can actually use that money for projects that come up along the way. So that would be my goal.
thank you.
Ryan Potter, do you have anything you would like to add?
The STC methodology is still rolling along, still probably gonna be spring before official adoption, but Dawn's bringing it to the parks portion to council on February 4th. And that's probably. So that's the next big step for the methodology.
Will we know ahead of time what number he's gonna take to the council as far as, I mean, right now, we're at the bottom of the totem pole, I guess, of the cities and the counties, we're at $6 and something, and maybe around 7, or, I don't know if it's dollars or not, 7,000, whatever. But we're looking at raising that number up.
Right.
Do we know what that target number is?
I don't right now. Would you be looking to have the consult team come and give an update before February? Is that?
That'd be great.
Okay.
February, what was that date?
4th?
Thank you.
But our meeting in February would be till the 3rd Tuesday of the month, so would they be able to come down or?
What about January?
January, yeah, January.
Yeah, I'll ask.
I'll give you the date. January the 20th.
I'll talk that with them and see if they're. And if not, I'll find out what kind of update John and I can bring. But that's all I have to say.
All right. Jim?
Randy? Quick update. Since Randy was coming to ask Kevin to get the news on the report.
Okay. No worries. Typically, how's it go? Just updates on what's going on out there?
Projects, big projects.
Yeah, but I'd say the big one we're focused on and with Jerry and his team is Walnut. Trying to get that on schedule and completed. Jerry's freed up some resources, so we've assigned Neil down here, Public Works, to be sort of a quote unquote project manager for that project to make sure we're hitting deadlines. And one of the big ones is signaling, getting a signal out on the highway, access management, all those things you might imagine. We had a letter that through DPS, our engineers, that went into ODOT, and it came back with like 34, 35 corrections that needed to be corrected. They have done that since, that was Friday. So those are the little things, the detail that needs to happen, and people are getting very anxious in the area because it's been going on for how many years, Barry? 5? 5, okay. 5's magic number.
It's been going on since 2018.
Yeah. So we're starting to get loud. But I think we're gonna be okay. I hope so. I'm trying to get easements from people, still don't have those, but I'm told they're coming. Trying to get an IGA with the county. County said they had no idea about this project. You know, it's just one thing after another with this project, so it's a big one, and it's on the council's radar, high alert, to try and get this thing done next year. So it's on my radar to try and get it done. 10th Street, we're bringing in the neighborhood from 10th Street tomorrow to thank them for their patience. I imagine it's going to be a little bumpy tomorrow. We're going to have some food and answer any questions that they might have, but as you know, there were a lot of line strikes during the course of that project. So engineers, contractors, city council, Jerry and his staff will be there. Just try to extend an olive branch, say thank you to the neighborhood. Also, Ivy Street folks will be there as well. And then do a work session at 6 o'clock on the city's comprehensive plan, talking about all the different ways the city is looking to grow over the next 10, 20 years and what areas. So economic development, housing, all the different chapters. And then move into a council meeting at 7. So we got 3 meetings stacked up for tomorrow night. Thank you, Councilor, for your patience. Sorry about that. So yeah. And then SDCs are coming. So we're trying to get those done. You know, we had a big project in the town in Sequoia, right? About a $3 million check in SDCs. If we would have been ahead of the game and gotten our SDCs done, hopefully we would have maybe gotten a little more out of them. But that's sort of the reason we're racing to get these SDCs done. Because you only get these opportunities or once in a generation type of big, massive projects that come to your city, and they should pay their fair share, in my opinion. That's why the SDCs are critical.
Do those big projects pay park SDCs?
Absolutely.
What was that for? Do you remember?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
130.
Yeah, out of the 3 mil, we got about 100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for non-residential, it's a lot less than if it was residential development.
Yeah, it's about 3 million total. So, we're meeting with PGE and BPA and Canby Utility Thursday, talking about power supply. Knock on wood, it's going to be a good meeting that we have enough supply to meet the needs of Ryan's planning pipeline, future growth that's planned out there and the growth power expansion areas. So I think it was just getting people around the table talking that haven't been talking. And the new general manager, totally Carrie, so she just started, I think, last week. So she'll be there. She's got water experience, a water district in Gresham. So really sharp, really smart. So I jumped right in on power stuff. So we're working on change orders tomorrow with the 10th Street folks. So get around a table like this and go through one by one, line item by line item. This is long. And we've got our insurance folks there, our engineer there, we've got the contractor there, we've got Jerry there. So we're Canby Utility is going to be there, and just let them, we're going to listen, hear them out, and guys know how to have fun, see what you have to say. Yeah. Well, otherwise it's just hanging out there, just staying like, that's about it. Thanks, Randy.
Okay, that's it. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion. Okay, Kathy, motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second? Jerry Jones seconds. All right. Next meeting would be December 16th, 2025, 6:30, right here. We'll see.
No.
I'll go.